Hey, what's up? I'm Karem Potóchnik, creator of the game Acuarella. This is a polyomino tile placement family game with cat illustrations in 6 different colors. In this game, we are going to become cat-like artists and try to create the best work of art on our canvas. We'll do this by connecting the cat tiles and getting as many pigments as we possibly can. The goal is to fill our board in such a way that we connect 2 different colored tiles to get a new color. In this case, blue and red would give me violet. These are the pigments that we're going to generate. And they're also the ones that will lead us to victory by giving us victory points. The most important thing in the placement of tiles on our board is the way in which we are going to place these cat tiles together. They have to be placed in such a way that they come in contact with 2 or more of their adjacent sides. Or they must come in contact with a single side for 2 or more consecutive squares marked on the grid. In this way. If I place them together and only one of their squares touch, there will be no combination, so no pigment can be generated. With these 2 basic tile placement rules, I will be able to generate the pigments. As we place the tiles on our board, we must try to avoid leaving empty spaces, since each empty square on our board will count as 1 point less. At the same time, if we want to draw opportunity cards that can grant us a benefit or mess with other players, we have to use our cat tile to cover a fishbone icon printed on our board. In order to obtain a card, the cat tile and the fishbone icon must be of the same color. In addition to the opportunity cards, we have cat photos. These cat photos will help us cover the small spaces that were left on our board and that cannot be filled by any cat tile. So, how do we get the photos? Every 4 pigments that we have obtained on our board will give us a cat photo. So, if you get 4 of these pigments, regardless of color, you can take a cat photo. As setup, we are going to place the neoprene mat in the middle of the table. Then, we'll place the pigments on top of their own color. After this, we'll draw a random row of 8 cat tiles from the bag. We should try to get different colors at the beginning. Each player must have their personal board and their kitten token. We'll place the opportunity cards to the side. These cards have 8 different types. For a 2-player game, we'll take 1 card of each type and put them back in the box. We won't need them. Additionally, we must place the trophies that give us 3, 2, and 1 point if we fill our board without any empty spaces. And finally, we'll have our guide to cat assembly, which I will explain later. On the first player's first turn, 1 time only, he or she will take a random tile out of the bag and place it on any of the edges of their board. In this case, let's say that player A decides to put their violet tile on this side, covering a fishbone of the same color. At that time, player A may draw an opportunity card, which he or she will be able to use from the next turn onwards. Then, the next player is going to take a tile from the row. Now, you can't just take any tile you want. The only available tiles are the ones in front of the cat totem, the ones the cat totem is looking toward. These 4 available pieces. The tiles behind the cat totem will replenish the row in front of it. Then, player B decides to take the tile number 3 on the central mat. He or she now places it on any edge of their board and replenishes the empty 3 space with a tile from the back with the same number, in this way. The new empty space will be replenished with a random tile from the bag. On the first player's next turn, he or she will see if they can use their card or not. Otherwise, they will try to make an interesting combination with the color violet. Each player has a play overview card, where we can see how to combine our cat tiles to generate these beautiful pigments and earn points. Player A has a violet tile. He or she knows they can combine it with blue or red. But there are no blue or red tiles on this side. Fortunately, they have the cat parade card. With this card, they will be able to choose from the other side of the row. To use it, he or she places it on the discard pile and takes the red tile, which will then be placed according to the rules of placement that I mentioned before, aligning them in such a way that two or more of their adjacent sides come in contact. I'll place it like this. The space where the tile was will be immediately replaced with another tile of the bag because I took it out from the back side. At that moment, a violet-red color pigment has been created. In this game, we have icons for every color. We use primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Additionally, each pigment has a different shape to avoid any mistakes. So, player A already made the first combination, their first pigment. Now, player B will do the same. He or she will think about how to combine the red color they have already placed. In this turn, they want to take the yellow tile to combine it with the red one. However, note that it is not mandatory to generate a pigment each turn. The player will place their new yellow tile on their board, respecting the rules of combination. Red and yellow gives you orange, so we take the orange pigment and place it where the two tiles connect. We then replenish the space next to the 3 with the tile next to the 3 from the backside, and that space will get replaced with another random tile from the bag. Players will keep playing their turns. Let's say player A chooses the blue tile, places it here, steps on a fishbone icon, and draws a card. We have a new combination. We replenish here. Then the next player takes the orange tile, which will only be touching one side of the yellow tile. But, as I explained before, two squares of both tiles must come in contact. Perfect! The tile is also covering an orange fishbone icon, so they take a card. And so, they generated the color yellow-orange, placing the pigment. Let's imagine players have reached this point in the game. Let me just add the pigments from the combinations, which I already know by heart, of course. Well, at this point in the game, player A can't place any more tiles because they are too big and won't fit. They also don't have any cards that can help out. At that moment, the endgame begins. All players will now have up to 2 turns more to try and fill their boards and keep getting pigments. Finally, once the turns are over, we count our pigments. These pigments have 3 groups in which they score. You can check the scoring in the Play Overview card. The cold colors, which are these, will give us 2 points each. The warm colors, which are these, will give us 3 points. And also, we're going to receive 1 point from the gray tokens, the wild token, which we can only obtain from an opportunity card that we have somewhere in the deck. We now must add up all of our pigment scores, and we subtract points from each empty space we have left. If any player has completely filled their board, remember, we have our trophies that will award 3, 2, and 1 point. And now we proceed to the second stage of the game, which is cat assembling. Once we have noted the total sum of our pigments, we remove the tiles we placed on our board, like so. And we are going to follow the reference guide. The combination of cats can include tiles of different or same colors. The important thing here is that they must complete the same cat. There are 12 different cats that we can assemble. For example, here we have a cat. Here we have another one. And here we have another one. So, every cat that I manage to assemble together will give me an extra point. It's like a final bonus I can obtain. These extra points will be added together with my pigment score. In the end, the player with the most points will be the winner. Let's have a little demo of how, during a single turn, I could generate more than one pigment. For example, if I had a blue cat tile here, and then I had strategically placed a green tile on this place, on my third turn I can place a yellow tile that comes into contact with two or more sides of both tiles that had already been placed, allowing me to generate two pigments at the same time. So, I'll place a green pigment here and the greenish-yellow pigment here. We could even have up to 3 combinations on the same turn, depending on how we place our cat tiles. Very soon, Acuarella will be at your favorite stores. If you want to stay up to date with our game, don't forget to follow us on our social media.